My favorite thing about Guild Wars 2, when it's 3 people versus 50, and one of the 3, who happens to be a PvEer, says, "Fight! Why don't you guys fight? We got this." It's 3 versus 50. And 2 of you who are not fast car, have terrible builds, and have no idea how to survive. We got this. 3 versus 50. But that's not even what triggers me. Even me saying it, and not someone saying it to me, still triggers me. But I'm going to do it for you people, because I'm an open book about everything. W key, we got this. Why don't you guys try, pussies? It's a game. Deaths don't matter. I love the people that think that there's a chance when there's literally zero chance. Alright, I'm going to say it. I'm going to troll myself. 3 versus 50. Fast car and 2 other terrible, clueless players. And one of them says, "We got this." Let me take a deep breath. I can't even use my regular voice. I feel like... Okay, here we go. Ready? Whew. We got this. Use your dodges. God, it's a fucking arrow into my heart. Use your dodges. 3 versus 50. 2 kids are PvEers with PvE build that have never been to World versus World, that are here because of some event to get some item or credit for something. You guys don't know how to play. Do you know how easy we would own this? PvE players. I'll say it one more time, just because I like the misery. 3 versus 50. We got this. A kid actually said this about 5-10 minutes ago. Use your dodges. They were... There was 50 of them. A full boon ball on the Lord of the Keep. 3 of them. What? Even PvE idiots that are complete tards, what do you think you're going to do versus 50 people in a 10-foot circle? Tell. It just doesn't compute. I can't even get words out. I'm so verklempt. None of you know what verklempt means. Look it up. That's maybe you're Jewish. Flabbergasted. Now I'm going to say this, and I know what's going to happen. Please, I don't ask for much as fast car. I run around healing. I'm on a healer right now. I wave to people. I jump when the player jumpy is around. I'm nice. I try to bring fun to chat. So I'm going to just ask this one little thing. Please, no one ever, under any circumstances, say, use your dodges. Here's another great thing. The idiots that think or make it seem like you can just perma-dodge and never take damage. Now, those thieves and other people that hack the shitty players, that use tools that let you just dodge. Yes, they don't take any damage. But as far as normal players, right? Let me show you how fast your dodges come back. This whole time, no dodges. One dodge. That's how fast your dodges come back. But you could take a food. Yes. Instead of taking 10 seconds to get a dodge back, it's 9 seconds. Really not a big difference. Use Your Dodges. We got this. All right, chat. You wanted some content? Yeah, sure. I did this much, and it's 6:30 in the morning. One more question. So, there's no people that have ever trolled or triggered me. And I've had the good ones like Lucidity and J-Mac and, your average Cheeto-fingered fat kid, that's smoking weed. I'm going to get fast car. I'm going to call him Fat Car because no one ever did that before. Oh, it's going to get him. No, that shit, it just makes me laugh on how retarded they are, uncreative, unfunny, and dumb. There is, besides the use your dodges, yes, there is one more thing that triggers me. Now, it's the same, look, it's always the same people, the complete and utter tards that think pushing is the solution for every fight. 13 versus 50. The 13 lost. Want to know why? You guys didn't push. Really? You think if the 13 pushed and the 50, plus guards, siege, that we would have won? Don't be cowards or pussies. It's not about it's just, you're dumb. It's always bad players that say push. Always. That have no tactical knowledge, no tactical training. They've never been in police, ICE, military, ever. Push! Yes, there is a time to push, but it's not all the time. It's not 100% of the time. People that say push incorrectly, yeah, that mildly triggers me, but that's not a full trigger. I'll tell you the thing. The only other thing that gets me, I don't say anything, but I'm going to tell you. When there's a fight and you're at SM and this, right, and there's maybe, so here's the scenario. Let's say it's reset night, right, and the game just started and all three servers, super laggy, right? All three servers are on or very close to the Lord. They're trying to take SM. And there's some idiot, usually who's unknown. Often they'll be from PvE. And they're screaming at people. So they die like every 3 seconds because they're an idiot. Why are people in the hallway? Get in the circle. I'm going to explain to you why. What is the advantage of, for example, a bow ranger, best range in the game, who literally does more damage the further away they are? What is the point of a squishy, most of them are squishy, bow ranger being inside the circle where the damage is when it's far smarter to be in the hallway? Why are you in the hallway? Because I'm ranged, you idiot. It could even be on one of my healers that are ranged, which all of them are. Why are you healing out there? You're not helping. Because you don't know how my class or build works, and I can heal at 1200. I don't have to be in the circle or even in the room. Yes, do you think a full Zerk, let's just say staff Ellie that's dropping meteors, is it smart for them with no hit points, no armor, no survivability to stand inside the center room? Or do you think it's smarter for them to be in one of the little arms, the hallways, dropping safely all of their damage? Why are you not in the room? Why is there hallway people? Anyone who has ever said that is a retard. Now, that said, there are some people, housewives, Star Wars kids, that are not ranged, that will stand in the hallway doing nothing. Now, I'm not talking about you're hurt, right? Maybe you're a melee and you've gone in and you've done your thing, right? You've blown your heel and maybe whatever, your blocks, your protection, everything is down, you're condied, you're on fire. And for a couple of seconds, you run into the hallway. Smart. I'm saying this is smart. To regroup, let some cooldowns come back. Maybe you even run out of combat, right? You go completely, out of the middle room, out of the hallways to the outer, I don't know, rampart area, right? You let everything come back, and then you go back in. That's cool. Yes, very quickly, and I want to end this. I don't understand what you're asking. I can only say nicely that you're a retard. All right, for those that are not live here, what this moron is saying, there's no such thing as a ranged healer. And he's explaining to all of us, myself and chat, he's explaining how on his Guardian, he's going on and on about his pages. If I ever played a real MMO, which I've done since 1998, I played 28 of them, including the two best games ever. Let's be honest, EverQuest 1 and DAOC. That's where my guild name came from, Dark Ages of Camelot. Where 99% of you wouldn't have lasted one day. Same thing for EverQuest 1, at least in the beginning years. I am not a point-blank AoE healer like your stupid Guardian. Right, where it... Yes, that's what point-blank AoE means. Even this guy... Here, I'll show you. Here's a heal, right? This heals for way more than it shows, of course. Right? So this is 1200. What is the point of me being close when I can heal from 1200? Do you understand? Right. So this is why it's smarter to be in the hallway where I'm out of danger. Now, if you know Fast Car Commandments, you know that healer commandment number 1, a dead healer is not a very good healer. Right? Even if you have to stick and move and you're not always there, but you're continuously helping, this is a lot smarter than running into the middle dead, losing your stacks, 5 minutes to get back, if you can. Right? Number 2, this regen that I can put down. Guess what? Ranged. I don't have to be close to put this down. This thing that does some nice boons and can also do some other yummy things, also 1200. This, also 1200. What is the point of me getting close, you retard? Listen, half the retards on this game don't even listen to the... They just blab without knowing what they're... Right. Exactly. At least learn how... At first he was telling me that there is no mez healers. And I didn't even... I can't, nobody's hurt right here, show you my burst, but I can do a AoE 100,000 heal on this guy. With boons and cures. Quite a few boons. Yeah, he said there's no mez healer. Yeah, it's AoE. It splashes. Yes. First of all, it's not 399 a second because, right, there's a multiplier with food and oil and stuff. And second of all, right, you're retarded because this doesn't shoot once a second. Even if this, let's say it did do 399 a hit, this is not 1 second. If you look in the upper right corner, it's 3/4 of a second. So in a second, I've shot, 1 1/4 times. You're not even comprehending this because you're dumb and a pothead, which is a terrible combination, right? And retarded. So this is why some people are in the hallway. I can't speak for everyone. There is definitely housewives and timid and people and scared. Or, look, a lot of people have bad builds. They can't take a single hit. And if they go in, they just die. And they're like, what's the sense of just giving a bag? My opinion on this, if you're one of those people, right, that is useless, why are you even in SM? Somebody's going to come and get you. All you're doing is causing more lag. So maybe go out in the courtyard and stop people from, reinforcements or dead from coming back. Okay. So there you go.
Statistically speaking, this is
No, we have no one on. I was with Squid and Dwaybo actually logged off. I don't know. We've varied. I woke up early due to some stuff. We've had active players between 3 and about 10 for the last several hours. And these other guys have a 50-man full-time. It's like fighting Mag. I don't know when Moogaloo all of a sudden... Well, I don't know who they're teamed with, to be honest with you. I mean, it used to be Yaks 100 years ago, but... Right. This is a whole nother story, not for this video. It is frustrating. The algorithm, or the whole idea with this alliance system, it was supposed, I was on MAG for years. I led Smashed for years straight every week. And people cried about MAG, so they made this alliance, and maybe Indo server a little bit, whoever they were. So they made this alliance system which was supposed to magically fix everything. And it didn't do 1%. If you watch my vids, somehow I'm always stuck on servers where we are continuously outmanned, outnumbered, and the other 1 or 2 teams have 50. This alliance doesn't work. Well, I really don't want to do that on this vid, but I'll give you a minute. I've played many other MMOs, 20 of them since 1998, actual real MMOs, and there's a couple of ways that MMOs that have a PvP, or we call it world versus world here, how they address this. One way is they have a scaling system for players' power based on population, which essentially means if Moogaloo has twice the amount of people we do, we get twice the armor, twice the power, twice the crit, twice everything. So, but then what happens, right, if you have kind of, big fight versus big fight, the theory is it should equal out. They have twice the numbers, you're twice as strong, right? So it's competitive. The problem is now, if you have a guy that's twice as strong running around solo, that's competent, he's going to murder everyone. Right, I've been on games like that. So that's not the answer. I'm getting to that. Well, ain't it, they care about PvE and SPVP. They really, I know people bitch about this all the time. I don't. But they really seem to not care about world versus world at all. We've had the same dumb maps. There's no underwater maps. There's no catacomb maps. I mean, it's the same bullshit. Right. For a very long time. No changes, no additions. Yeah. DAOC did a much better job than this by 1,000 times. Anyway, as to your question, how do you fix this? Well, kids, millennials, they want to be part of a winning team. Even if they don't do anything, I'm good because I'm on so-and-so server. Even if they just leech and do nothing. Right, so I'm getting to that. They need to make this just war for the fun of war. Look, there's no benefit to winning each week. You don't get, let's say, 1,000 gold. You don't get a prize. You don't get some special loot or items. There's really no... there's no mechanic to reward you for, let's say, coming in first or winning. Nothing. So then the only thing is like server pride. I'm cool because I'm on the winning team. This is what these kids want, that didn't do well in school, that never got picked to be on sports teams, that sat in the bleachers or got picked last, right? Fat kids and people with inhalers and ADD and, right. Easy fix. Right. So you shouldn't be able to choose your server or your alliance. Right? The game has enough data. They know when these people are on and those people in these guilds. I'm sure this shit is all tracked. They need to just say, okay, these people play at night and we're going to sprinkle them over here, and these people play during the day and these people play in the afternoon, and very easily they can redistribute. Maybe once an hour it should do this. So like now we have, 4 people on, and Moogaloo has 50. This is no fun, right? So take those 50 and spread them equally to us and to the blue guys. So the population is always the same. I think it maybe even continuously. Or it could be once an hour. I don't know how the coding would work on this. But that's the only way. It would also cause something cool. Although you wouldn't be able to play with your friends as much. Or your guild. There's this thing where people have to have guilds. I don't know. They just love it. Right? So it should just make everybody a bunch of solos, and you never know where you're gonna be. I don't get on this game to talk in guild chat and make friends and let's talk. I get on to fight. I don't give a fuck who I'm with. I don't care what tag someone has, what outfit they're wearing. This is another thing. Fashion wars is ridiculous. But I'm not going to talk about that. Yes, so they just need to make it where the numbers are even. no alliances. Take fucking guilds out of World versus World and just make people fight. That's how you easily fix this. When you go to log on and you hit EB, there should be some mechanism in the programming where it goes, oh, this guy's trying to log on Moogaloo and they have 49. But green has 4 people. Let's put this guy on green. I can't imagine it would be that difficult. I've been on other games that did very similar things. Yeah, my back is itchy. What alcohol is in my cup? This cup? Nothing. It's H2O, water. Very highly filtered water called reverse osmosis. Yes, and it's a very big cup. All right, people, I wanted this, as always, to be 1 or 2 minutes, and it turned out God knows how long this is. I mean, bitching and crying doesn't do anything. Am I happy with the way this works? No. But the people that bitch and cry about it continuously, of which I've known many, some have left the game, some just keep bitching, it doesn't help. You know, ANET's not 14 years in, all of a sudden going to change. This is how it is. Now, I will say something. As someone that was on MAG for a long time, and as someone that led many, many times on MAG, and for those of you that were here in those days, entire weeks, I would take EB, both sides, and I would camp the entire map. You know, both spawns simultaneously all day and all night. And you might go, man, that's cool, that was the old MAG and it was fun. It honestly wasn't. Maybe the first time you ever do it and get some revenge on this guy or that guild, that's cool. But after it happens for days and days and days and weeks, when the enemy gets on and goes, oh, we're fighting MAG, I'm logging off for the week. When you're the quote winning team, there's nothing to do. It's boring. There's just 25 people dueling and people standing around talking. There's no fighting when everyone just quits. And quite frankly, this was not fun. This was not fun at all. Right. So, you know, I've heard they're making a Guild Wars 3. Of course, how many games do they say are coming out in 5 or 10 years? I'm thinking of Camelot Unchanged and Pantheon and others. They say games will come out and they don't. They fail for one reason or another. But allegedly, they're working on Guild Wars 3. And it's going to actually come out. Again, everyone says that. I hope, number one, I have to end on this, people. And it's 7 o'clock. I'm very hungry. Almost 7. I hope they have better servers this time. Because this is horseshit. When I've left for short periods of time, like Throne and Liberty, that was the smoothest launch I ever played. It had 10 times, 100 times the people in what would be World versus World. And there was no lag. Zeros at launch. So many people in the zone. No lag, no stuttering, nothing. Smooth. My wish is that for the next Guild Wars, they use better server. People are typing shit like Amazon server. I don't know enough about servers. I don't know if that's true. Is it? People are saying Chinese server. I don't know enough about computers that way. but they gotta have better servers. They have to. Look, they make a lot of money. I don't know how much money the Guild Wars team makes, but it's not like Guild Wars is making $100 a week. They make millions and millions of dollars, right? What's the difference between a mediocre server, like the actual box, the actual tech, the computer, right? What's the difference between a medium level Chinesey one and a good one? Is it $1,000? Is it 10 grand more? Right. So be a little bit less greedy and buy better servers, or at least ones that can be upgraded. I don't know anything about servers, but I do know on my home computer, your graphics card gets outdated, you pull it out, pop in a new one. Your CPU gets outdated. Yes, you can get a whole new board, but in many cases, you can just unplug it, plug in one a couple generations better. RAM, just get better RAM. Don't servers work that way? I don't know. Right? Idiots worry about fashion and spend real money. I know plenty of people that do this. And I don't even know the PvEers. You're making millions. You can't upgrade the servers, the cables, something? There are some people that are either just parrots or in the business that are saying it's not just the servers, it's the engine and the coding. I really don't know what any of that means. I'm not going to pretend I do. But why do other games not have it? Did they just make a mistake on Guild Wars 2? Did they cheap out? I'm not sure. Not just did Throne and Liberty run 100 times smoother, it had more spell effects. Oh shit. And it was better graphics. I'm glad I heard a noise and looked around. I would have been jacked and not even known why. Right. Maybe, I don't know anything about engines and whatever you guys are talking about. But, right, so that's my wish for Guild Wars 3. And for all I know, by then, I don't think Guild Wars 3 is coming out this year. It's probably 4 or 5. Look how many games that do come out give a date. I'm thinking of one of the Diablos. And it gets pushed back 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Right. So Guild Wars 3 could very possibly be, if it does come out 2030, if we haven't been invaded by then or some natural disaster, the rest of the world hasn't tried to attack Trump. Let's say we're still here. Right. Right. Anyway, to end this, they gotta have better servers. I'm quite sure there'll be some aspect of battlegrounds. There is a following of people, obviously, that love what they call here world versus world. I hope they have figured out some mechanic somehow where this lopsided shit isn't gonna happen. Maybe make much smaller teams. I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate, but yeah. There could very well be another game. There's been quite a lull for years. I would have left Guild Wars many years. I've been bored with this small, dumb, easy mode game for many years. It's just that there's nothing better. On 3 occasions, I left for another game, and they were just worse. It's not that this is great. It's just there's nothing better. There's nothing equal. Yeah, Final Fantasy, Black Desert, all of the Aeon, all those things you're naming had Throne and Liberty one problem or another, 20 problems, some issue. Yeah, it's shocking that like another, even World of Warcraft hasn't come out. I don't follow that game at all. I don't know anything. But it's shocking that there's no World of Warcraft 2 or 3 or whatever they're up to. I know they have a million expansions. I mean, Blizzard could get it right, probably. But it's shocking. Right. No, these Chinesey games are all... Do you know how many Chinesey, Korean-y MMOs have come out that look so gorgeous, and there's swords the size of trees, and look at the combos, and they're terrible. All of them are terrible. All of these pay-to-win games are terrible. I don't mind monthly subscription. Look, I paid on EverQuest 1, and this was back in like 2000. $15 a month, which was a lot for back then. What would that be today? 30 a month? Maybe more? DAOC had a similar charge, a couple other games, but they ran better. There was definitely less idiots. We didn't have a bunch of dumb trolls and potheads and stupid kids because they didn't want to pay the $15 a month. I would way rather. It adds up. I guess if you pay 15, if it was just 15, right, a month for 14 years, that's some money. But that's cheaper than going out drinking. All the people there's people bitching in the chat. Listen, what you idiots spend on weed and booze? Right. $10 a month is nothing. Alright, I really want to end this. Okay. Look, I could do question and answers for 8 hours, but number one, I'm hungry and I want to eat. Yeah, look what time it is. Yeah, I'm seeing that it's not that I'm avoiding the questions, but these answers and rants will take 10 to 60 minutes each. And a lot of you have ADD, right? And you ask a question, but you're not ready for a thorough answer. None of my answers are one sentence. I can't give you a complete thought. And there's others that love it. Me as Fastcard the player, there's nothing I can do. What am I going to write a letter to ANET? World versus World sucks. Can you fix it? I haven't been on the forums, like the official Guild Wars forums where people go to bitch. It's never good players. Good players don't go to the forums. Period. Right? Past, like, launch, maybe a few weeks in or a month when there's bugs, maybe you're on there reporting shit. But after that, good players don't go. It's just people that go to bitch that are terrible players. Years and years and years and years I haven't been on. But what am I going to do? Go on there and say, hey, it's the legendary Fastcar. World versus World sucks. I would imagine, I don't know, I'm talking out of my ass here. I would imagine there's 10,000 posts about mismatches in World versus World. I'm not going to talk about any other topic, but just that. I would be shocked if there's any posts about the amount of people that are hacking scripts, macros, tools, and why they can't be caught. I would be shocked if there's any posts. I feel like if anyone posted, ANET would just immediately take it down and maybe ban the person who wrote it. Yeah, I'm scratching my back again. I don't know, it's itchy. Yes, but I would imagine there's threads about the... Right. Yeah, like the status, the state of world versus world. I almost would like to know, does ANET answer? Like when a bunch of players go, look, this is terrible. The map? That's because they have a 50-man. We have like 4. I'm sure blue does not have many on. Red is just, for whatever reason, not attacking them. I don't know. But, yeah, so listen. I enjoyed this. I gave you... What, on YouTube? Yeah, I could cut some out and put it on YouTube. I won't give them the whole... Believe me, I hear you. But... Look, if a message went out, right? If some of the big streamers, right, that are in America, or whatever, not even in America, get like, my favorite caveman, right? Who needs a haircut and a shave, Teapot. He gets big numbers. I've seen him over 1,000. Get him and Chumps and some of the bigger people to get 100 plus, and tell them, every one of you go to the forums under the World versus World tab and demand that ANET does something about the number mismatch. There has to be something that they can do. Now, if one person goes, or 2 or 5, nothing comes out of this. But if 1,000 people all go and they're not trolly assholes, right? They say legitimate things. Maybe that might spark a change. Or Guild Wars might just say, look, this shit's 14 years old. We're on cruise control. We're just milking you idiots for every dollar we can get. That's very possible that they're on cruise control. We're not here for you. We're here to make millions. They're a business after all, right? What am I going to have for breakfast? Probably, I mean, you guys see my pictures, most of you, on various Discords. It will probably be a buttered, toasted English muffin with 2 fried eggs with, let's call it, a soft yolk, and probably meat. I don't think bacon today. Probably a piece or 2 of fried Spam. And I may, that's just one little sandwich for me. Sandwich. People are mending on this. Maybe a fruit with it. Perhaps one of my orange tomatoes, for those of you that know what that is. An orange. Maybe. We have actually watermelon here at the labs. Chef got a watermelon and cut it up. Had some last night. Perhaps some watermelon. Perhaps something else. Okay, only because you said it in caps and 50 pleases. See, this is going to be out of context, bordering on gross. Look, Fastcast doesn't hide anything, and Fastcast doesn't hold anything back. I don't get embarrassed. I show ups and downs. I show video. I've been injured many times on duty. I've showed pictures. I've showed everything. So what this person is asking, yesterday with lunch, I had about... No, it wasn't a quart. I had about so Chef made a pint of real spinach, organic baby spinach, and he rendered it down, cooked it. Now, if you've ever seen, I really want to end on this, guys. I keep saying it. You could have a bucket full of spinach, and it would be very overwhelming to try to eat that. Just looking like leaves. But when you cook it, when you, boil it or lightly fry it or whatever, it renders down. It gets much smaller. Right. So I had a pound of baby spinach, which is a huge pile, that he rendered down, and he had a little leftover broccoli, which he put into there, and probably in my serving, oh God, 10 whole garlic cloves. So it was now those of you that know the effect that spinach that has on the human body, and I don't know, a cup of broccoli and 10 garlics, and it was in butter and olive oil. I ate it all with whatever else I had, a steak. What this person is asking is what those that didn't get to see it, what kind of fast poop did you have after eating all of that spinach, which I just described to you? I don't know if it's done yet, if it's all gone through. I have no way to know if it's fully processed. But without being gross, earlier, maybe my time 4, I had a normal bowel movement that was not out of the ordinary, or the size was not out of the ordinary. I don't want to be gross. I will say it was easy to pass. A little surprise, not like diarrhea or something. Again, I don't want to be too graphic. Just easy. Things went smooth. But again, it may not be through me yet, or maybe that wasn't all of it. But that's the answer to your question. Out of context. All right, people, you have content. I've entertained you. And yes, I'll just randomly cut. I don't know when I'm going to start it and stop it. And I'll put it on YouTube. Shout out to anyone that has gotten this far in this vid on YouTube. There are people, I get messages. There's a lot of ADD people. I'm not going to watch a video more than 30 seconds. The millennials and Zoomies or whatever the new noobs are called. I don't even know. I can't do that. My brain, with all this weed and medication I'm on. What's that shit all the kids are on today? Adderall, that's the one. Yeah, they can't listen. But there's a lot of people that like to just chill at night. Yeah. And hear a soothing voice about Guild Wars. Maybe they're in the car. The few people here that actually work, maybe they're driving to work. There's not video on this to speak of. Nothing important. Yeah, before I go, you want to see the map? They don't fuck with blue. Maybe they have an arrangement. We did get double teamed a lot. They're just not encroaching. And blue has nobody on. Very little. I'm not a quitter, but there does come a point, like right now, we have 0 people out there fighting. Look, there's not even leechers and AFK people. What do we have? 1, 2 on? What am I going to do? Especially as a healer. I guess I could play a non-healer. But as a healer, I need people to heal. If there's no one to heal, what can I do? It's not rage quit, it's rage quit. Right, there's just nothing to do. Even if there was one person, I like to duo with Sad Squid or Dwaybo or a bunch of other people. What are the two of us going to do? At some point, 10, 20, 50 are just going to show up. Right. Yeah, what this guy is saying is, dude, you're on a U.S. server and, you got on in the middle of the night. That's correct. But this is still a U.S. server, but Moogaloo has had 50 from 10 at night until 7:17 in the morning. So your thing about, oh, it's an American, right. Mag has 50 on right now. There's probably another server or two in T1 or T2 that has 50 on. So it's not that. I really wanted to go. What this guy is saying is, why don't they just merge servers? Well, that usually happens to games on their last legs when there's 10 servers, but they're, 15% full. They just start merging them. It's probably smart. That would work, but there's a problem. So if they started merging servers, right, or alliances, that'd be great. This shit would go away. If they halved the number of matchups, right, half, they could probably fix this or make it 10 times better. The downside is that when it's prime time, queues would be unbelievable. I mean, Mag and a couple other servers get, it's not uncommon, 60, 80, 140 queue. You could, when I was on Mag years ago, 2, 3, 4 hour wait times were common. I don't think it's quite as bad today, but I've been in queues for 2 hours, right? And there's people that have a wife, children, work, whatever, and they're like, I want to get on and play. I can't sit in the queue doing nothing. What am I going to craft? You can only craft so much. I suppose you could go to another Borderland, but that's the problem due to the limit of how many people. Yeah, that's really not the fix. Maybe you could have instanced EBs, more than one. That would change things. But I really, again, it's not going to change, so talking about it is silly. It's just we're just spinning our wheels here. Right. Okay. Marjorie, fast car, what is. This is worded oddly. I don't know if it's because it's late or she's not American. What is those bumps, those lumps, kind of on top of your shoulder that connects to your neck that other people don't have? That is a muscle called the trapezius muscle. I guess technically it's the back. This comes from working, exercising, doing heavy weights. It's a bodybuilder thing. Generally speaking, it's very rare that someone has large trapezius muscles unless they're on a lot of drugs, steroids, and other similar things. Generally, I mean, mine are, for a natural guy, they're of a nice size, but not like if I was on the juice. Yes, like Tren. Tren is nothing new. People make it seem like Tren is new. It's just dummies had discovered it and started overusing it. But anyway, that's what that is. That's from working out. You get that. She said she wants to just like bite it and go. Okay. Oh, well, that's very naughty. All right, I'm going to end, people. Please enjoy my 2-minute thing has turned into, I don't have a timer because I'm in the game. Shout out to Warg and Fishmonger if he made it this far. That's my boy right there. Don't hate on Fishmonger and Warg. It's my people. If I did can you shout out your favorite? If I did shout outs to my favorites, that still played the game, it would take me 15 minutes. Because the FOFs are far and wide. See, people don't watch all the time, don't know all the fast terms. FOF is friend of fast car. Right. You can send me, you can leave a message on a video. You could tell me in team or map chat, or send me an in-game mail. Hi, fast car, I'm FOF. Or just I'm FOF, friend of fast car. Yes, you can message me in the game. I get it from enemies that know it all the time. They will see me and type FOF, and often, that kite thing or the big balloon, whatever that is, or turn into some weird package or something. Yeah, FOF, F-O-F, friend of fast car. The new people, right, only the hardcore people know that. Oh, you guys are driving me crazy. Lunch, Chef Jim isn't in yet. It's a little early still, although I am hungry. Usually the day before, we will talk about lunch, what you would call lunch. We call meals numerically. And even snacks. The day before, we would kind of mention it, or he'd ask, is there anything special you feel like, or are you looking for a chicken experience, a beef experience, a pork experience? Once in a while, we call it going woke, and we'll have a big, salad or something. But I'm thinking quickly. We really didn't discuss anything. I know he had wanted to make a matzo ball soup, which didn't happen for a bunch of reasons. We had some guests here at the lab and some other stuff going on. I'd like that, but no, so nothing is planned. As far as I know, all of the lobster bisque is gone. Oh, you know what? There is one left over. He made spaghetti or similar type noodle. Yeah, like Italian pasta or pasta, depending where you're from. And he made a red sauce with garlic and, whatever, herbs, basil, oregano, typical Italian type red sauce, and put a whole bunch of shrimp in it, which he lightly cooked in a pan with butter. So we have this, we do have a full meal, each of us, a very large plate or bowl of shrimpy pasta. So we might have that as a snack or a meal, but otherwise, no. All right, I'm ending this now. Legend.